bug sandwich to the next level here. If it's so good, why the hell do you have to make it look like meat? How much money are these sellouts getting from soy companies that they're invested in? I knew it. All right, we're back. So Evil Food Supply, plant-based meat is literally a scam. Let's get into it.
Pretty good.
It's very tender, juicy.
I've never had plant taste like beef before.
It's like a beef burger. The flavor on this is outstanding.
Introducing the Impossible Whopper with a patty made from plants, no beef.
No beef, made from plants.
Plant-based meat storms our grocery store shelves. Now, restaurants are featuring everything from Impossible Burgers to Beyond Sausage breakfast sandwiches on their menus. But is plant-based meat really healthier for you?
Impossible Burger and companies like that, they use a lot of novel proteins. In other words, things in their meat that we really can't even fully understand.
Biochemistry, it's molecular biology, it's genomics, genetics.
Why are these companies going out of their way to make a non-meat product look, taste, and smell exactly like meat?
We could save our planet.
Plant-based meat is literally a scam. They say it's about having empathy for animals.
You know what the animals would say to you if they could speak? Don't kill me!
His tooth fell out. That's a typical of a vegan diet, your teeth falling out.
My tooth gone.
They say it's for the environment.
Climate change is exploiting the world's land at an unprecedented rate.
Eating more plant-based foods and sustainably produced meats can change land use and mitigate climate change.
They say it's healthy.
I'm more active. I'm not as sluggish.
It takes less water.
How much money are these sellouts getting from soy companies that they're invested in? Tell me, please. How many millions did you get paid to come up here and say, I feel better, strong as fuck, man, when I work out. I'm saving the planet.
Less energy.
When in reality, it's all about money. Plant-based meat companies have hijacked our compassion to sell us imitation meat that is made out of a bunch of cheap industrial chemicals and ingredients.
If it's so good, why the hell do you have to make it look like meat? Why do you got to make it taste similar to meat? Why does it have to have the same texture? Why are you trying to mimic meat so goddamn much? If you created a wonder food that's good for bug eaters, make it look like something different. Why are you copying the one thing everybody wants to eat through nature? By nature, biologically, meat.
Soy protein made from soybeans bathed in a solvent called hexane, a known human neurotoxin. Red number 3, food dye that's a carcinogen that's banned in cosmetics. Caramel coloring, a dye that causes cancer in rats. Tertiary butyl hydroquinone, sodium tripolyphosphate. Yum! These are just some of the ingredients.
What the f was that last one? Sodium tripolyphosphate. That sounds appetizing. You know, like when you look on the back of a package of beef, it says ingredient, beef. I love eating sodium tripolyphosphate in the morning. Sounds great.
Polyphosphate. Yum! These are just some of the ingredients found in plant-based meat. Ingredients that are absolutely terrible for you and are way cheaper than growing grass-fed cows, which we've been eating for hundreds of thousands of years.
So what is happening is that they're turning the original notions we had about food upside down. What was cherished the most in the past by the previous generations were the nutrient-dense foods. And that, of course, included meat. And suddenly those products have become the ones that we should avoid, which is extremely surprising.
These are confusing times, which is just about the right time to have the Burger King Impossible Whopper. A Whopper made without beef that tastes just like a Whopper.
And yet, society keeps pushing it.
There's a simple but significant way to help protect the planet and all its inhabitants.
Rip all the Dutch beef farmers out there that were forced to close down their shit due to the globalists wanting to push carbon emission standards on cows, of all things. Feed the people bugs.
And it starts with just 1 day a week. 1 day without eating animal products.
Government.
Right, cow farts are ending the world. Takes over everybody's land so they could plant their soy products and slowly wither everybody away.
Let's keep pushing it. And we all fell for it. This is the great plant-based meat lie.
Well, those Impossible Burgers, we showed a study the other day that was showing that it's toxic for rats. They fed rats the Impossible Burger and the rats are getting sick.
Apparently, a lot of these vegan meats we've all been scoffing down because they're plant-based from the plant range are actually highly synthetic processed foods.
Plant-based meat is actually a food manufacturer's dream. Why? Well, think about it. Raising a natural grass-fed cow takes a ton of time, money, and resources. You need to feed them quality hay and grass. You need to take care of them for up to 2 years. And this all costs money. Over $2,000 per cow. That is why grass-fed beef costs food manufacturers $7.
By the way, I just went to a local farmer's market, not a farmer's market, but they had a little meat. And farmer's market, I guess is what they call them in America. But if you can, every weekend in your local area somewhere, there's usually a farmer's market where all the local farmers come, set up their own little booths with all their items, fresh, highest quality, the best stuff you can get. Do not buy your shit at the store. Get local if you can. Don't go to big box chains. Sorry, that's what I mean. Always buy local. Go to the local mart that sources from local farmers. Always source everything local. Support the little guy. Support the little guy. Whether it's restaurants when you go out to eat, do not go to a chain restaurant. Forget them all. If it's not a local hole in the wall, if it's not someone's mom and pop back there, someone's uncle, you do not spend money on globalist companies, giant faceless corporations that don't give a shit about what you put in your mouth and where they source their food from. Always eat local in your area. Never step foot in any of these multinational corporations and give them your penny. All you're doing is taking all the money out of your community, siphoning it up to them so they can spend their money in their giant gated communities away from you instead of supporting the local guy that will literally go back into the local store in his local business that benefits you indirectly. Do not eat anywhere where they have multiple locations unless a local business owner has opened a second location in your area. That's it. Let the Walmarts die. Let the McDonald's die. Let all these big corporations die.
$63 per pound. Pretty expensive. Now, compare this to the plant-based meat, which is made from America's cheapest, most subsidized crop, soybeans. Right now, soybean meal costs American food manufacturers a measly 25 cents per pound, compared to $7.63 for beef. That's 30 times cheaper than real meat. Which means, if you could find a way to make a convincing beef-like burger with this dirt-cheap soybean meal, you could charge the same price as real beef while making way more profit. All you need is some genius marketing.
It's not the same price. That fake meat shit at the, Whole Foods by me, just walking past that aisle is more than per pound cost of beef. They are upcharging, and it costs 10x less to make.
Some colorful labels, a little dash of guilt, and you will be golden. And that's...
Someone wrote this earlier this week. The Netherlands had its provincial elections. Every single province voted for the Farmers' Party for the first time ever, but our presidential cabinet doesn't care. Yeah, of course they don't. Cow farts, man, ruining the world, apparently.
That's exactly what happened. Right now, grass-fed ground beef at the grocery store costs $7.99 to $10.49 per pound, while Impossible Foods fake ground beef, this cheap soy franken meat, costs around the same at $9.32 per pound. But here's the thing, soybean meal by itself tastes horrible. If you want to make it taste like a real, delicious, juicy burger, you're gonna need a ton of chemicals, artificial ingredients, and some good old big food engineering.
Throw this puppy on the grill.
Sizzle. This is the Impossible Burger. A plant-based meat alternative made from the best, most natural ingredients America has to offer.
Here, what we have in front of me is all of those natural plant ingredients.
Yeah. And honestly, the Impossible Burger doesn't taste half bad.
The consistency of the Impossible Burger is so meat-like.
It's shocking. It's literally shocking.
It grills like a burger. It bleeds like a burger. But how does it do that? Well, the chemical in real beef that makes it taste super delicious is called heme. Heme is a chemical found in cow's blood. So if you want your plant-based meat to taste like
I have to put iron in there? Is that what it is? Heme iron? Heme blood?
The real thing, you're gonna need to find a plant-based heme alternative. So you slapped on a lab coat and started experimenting.
Fake blood. You have to fake blood your plant burger.
You wanted to find a way to extract the chemical heme from soybeans. And at first, you experimented on natural, non-GMO soybeans. But the taste just wasn't cutting it. Plus, in order to make a tiny bit of heme, you needed a whole truckload of these natural soybeans, which would be super expensive and ruin the whole point of this scheme. So you switched gears and started to experiment with genetically modified soy. And guess what? It actually worked. You literally created blood from soybean.
Okay. It really was soybean blood. Okay. Bug sandwich to the next level here. A chemical concoction made of God knows how many ingredients just to replicate one single one. And that is what we call progress today. It's okay, citizen. Enjoy your bug sandwich. It's just like the real thing, promise.
Impossible Burger is a plant-based burger. The key ingredient, which a protein called soy leg hemoglobin.
Oh. Look at that.
The thing about genetically modified soy is that it's sprayed with a ton of herbicides.
Oh, here we go. Glyphosate babies. Here we go. Awesome. If you eat this stuff, you're going to have a glyphosate baby. That's great.
Specifically, Monsanto's Roundup.
I knew it, dude. I haven't seen this video. I knew it. Roundup is glyphosate.
And this Roundup contains a toxin called glyphosate.
I knew it. Look, I've made these funny jokes about glyphosate babies on Tribe Report all the time with Sophie. Look, this shit is now, oh, I can't believe it. Look up what glyphosate does to your immune system. Holy.
Which has been linked to vital organ damage in animals, as well as cancer and non-Hodgkin's lymphoma in humans. And as it turns
also, it's thought of to be strongly linked to the increase in, autism. And if we continue using glyphosate, I think the numbers went from like 1 in tens of thousands to 1 in I don't know how many. And now we're approaching 1 in 3 potentially children that will have a form of autism or be on the spectrum, thinking it's linked to glyphosate during pregnancy.
Turns out, glyphosate gets absorbed right into the flesh of the soybeans that it's sprayed on. So it's not surprising that a ton of glyphosate has been found in Impossible Burgers, along with hexane.
Oh, dude, that's so cool. So we're going to eat a glyphosate burger now. Tremendous, isn't it? I love it. Not only is glyphosate bad and you have to wash your veggies, at the very least buy organic to make sure it's not sprayed with it, but now you're eating a burger that highly concentrates it down into one chemical that's needed to make your burger bleed like an animal.
A known neurotoxin.
Oh,
but did this little glyphosate mishap stop?
Is a known neurotoxin, right? Is this why vegans are so nutty? There's a study that says if you're a vegan or a vegetarian too, I believe, you're more prone to mental disease. I think they said Alzheimer's and dementia. You're at a increased risk if you're on a vegetarian or vegan diet.
Stop you from releasing your burger to the public? No! You submitted a 1,066-page report on your soy leg hemoglobin creation to the FDA. And the FDA simply responded with no further questions.
What should scare the out of you about the Impossible Burger is all of the regulations that surround meat. None of them surround that.
The other thing with Impossible Burgers, so the primary ingredient is called soy leg hemoglobin, or SLH. So this is a bioengineered protein additive that adds meat-like taste and color. It does not meet the basic FDA generally recognized as safe, the GRAS designation because it's not a food or even a food ingredient. And there's a document that you can get.
It's gross. You're eating something that's not even considered food by the FDA. Of course, the FDA has been politically captured and they're completely useless and not looking out for any of the food and drugs you administer to yourself as an American citizen. Completely worthless. They've been defanged. They are not on your side. Crazy. DJ Nutsack, thanks, brother. I drive 3 hours to get meat from my hometown butcher. Had steak and eggs this morning. This has encouraged me to have a steak dinner. You absolutely should, my friend. When I lived out on the East Coast in Atlanta, I used to order my meat, eggs, and raw milk from, where's people in New Jersey? Amish. I used to order from an Amish farm in New Jersey. They had the best stuff you could find in America. Yes, indeed. I can't ship that stuff over to Arizona because the shipping fee is out of this world. You have to keep it fresh, iced. The pack weighs too much and it's just not doable. Shout outs to the Amish in New Jersey with your farms. You guys have the greatest quality food in all of America.
Yeah, I think it came with the Freedom of Information Act. In the discussion in this document with the FDA, Impossible Foods admitted that up to a quarter of its heme ingredient was composed of 46 unexpected additional proteins, some of which are unidentified and none of which were assessed for safety in the dossier. Impossible Burger put the product on the market despite admitting to the FDA privately that they haven't done adequate safety testing. And according to these documents, quote, FDA believes that the arguments presented individually and collectively do not establish the safety of SLH, soy leg hemoglobin, for consumption, nor do they point to a general recognition of safety.
So they don't know what the it does.
Which is why every bite you take in an Impossible Burger is potentially laced with toxic herbicides. But wait, there's more. Heme isn't the only thing you need to make a pathetic pile of soybean meal look and taste like real meat. You also need a ton of dyes, artificial flavorings, and bulking agents.
Ugh.
Bruh.
Oh, it gets worse. Of course it does. The secret sauce. Here we go.
That one tastes like a burger.
It tastes like a burger. That is a lot better than I thought it would be.
It tastes like a beef burger.
That is
Like
so
cancer in your mouth.
yummy.
This can't not be meat. This isn't impossible.
One of the ingredients in Impossible Burgers is ferric phosphate, an ingredient that is promoted.
Hold up. Before he gets into this and blows our minds. Ingredients: water, soy protein concentrate, sunflower, probably oil, methyl cellulose, glutamates, natural flavors, something sugar, modified plant starch, yeast extract, soy leg hemoglobin something, I don't know, tocopherols, antioxidant, L-tryptophan. L-tryptophan is in there, okay. Niacin, calcium pantothenate, hydrochloride, vitamin B6, thiamine hydrochloride. Dude, this is just like the quarter of the ingredients. What the hell? How can you turn over to this ingredients and be like, totally safe? Trust the company who's making this. Great. No, hold on. We gotta look at these. Let me put this near the edge. Okay. All right, we have to. It's time to look stupid and read some crazy ass ingredients. Here we go. So water, soy protein concentrate. Have they changed these? Okay, let me double check. Here we go. Impossible Burger. This is it. Beef made from plants, or burger made from plants. Here we go. Where is it? I want to see the direct package. Wow. You really aren't going to show me the ingredients? Here we go. I'll make this bigger for everybody. There's a warning. There's a warning that says contains soy. Water, soy protein concentrate, coconut oil, sunflower oil, natural flavors, 2% or less of potato protein, methyl cellulose, yeast extract, cultured dextrose, food starch modified, soy leg hemoglobin, salt, soy protein isolate, mixed tocopherols, zinc gluconate, thiamine, sodium, niacin, pyridoxine hydrochloride, vitamin B6, riboflavin. Okay, so they're just saying those are the vitamins. Look at all the reviews. Since cutting meat out 6 years ago and turning it into a bug sandwich from my diet, I have missed a few things. One thing is the hamburger with beef. I crave real food. My body's yelling at me to eat real food. I was able finally to replicate this using one package of Impossible meat. It actually browns like real meat. Why is that? I don't ask myself. It's impressive and doesn't have that bitter aftertaste. The texture and flavor are so much like beef. It's crazy. Instead of eating the real thing, I'll ingest chemicals. I get asked often if I miss eating meat. Not at all now. I've tricked my body with chemicals. I feel great. It tastes like the real thing. What kind of chemical wizardry went into making that happen? Don't care. It's great. I love it. You should try it if you have it. You won't regret it. Nathan, our resident bug mail. Great. Typical. Oh, what else is this? Beyond Meat versus Impossible Foods. Sheesh. Who cares? Let's get back to the video. See how we're getting killed.
Ingredient that is promoted as an iron supplement, but is also the active ingredient in slug pesticide. And what about caramel coloring? Another ingredient fake meat companies use. Sounds innocent enough, right? Well, this is a food dye that has been proven to cause cancer in mice. And tertiary butyl hydroquinone? Yet another ingredient fake meat company.
Bro, that ingredient wasn't even on the ingredient list. Do you see what I mean? Tertiary butyl hydroquinone. That's not on our ingredients. Why can't we see these full ingredient lists? Do you see what I mean? They have so many things, so many byproducts, so many chemicals in there that they won't list on the ingredient list. Isn't that crazy?
Quinone? Yet another ingredient fake meat companies use? A common food additive that has been shown to cause liver enlargement and paralysis.
Great.
But who cares about these dumb medical studies? All you care about is whether or not your genetically modified soy mash tastes like real beef. But there's still one crucial thing missing that makes a burger. That satisfying sizzle. And where does that sizzle come from in real meat? Natural animal fat. We can't use that here. So what do? You dump in a ton of seed oils.
No, everybody already is starting to figure out in the mainstream that seed oils are one of the worst things you can possibly eat. Seed oils is what's causing the explosion in obesity and all these autoimmune diseases today. Of course, seed oil is in here. Why wouldn't it be?
Sunflower oil, canola oil, corn oil, you don't discriminate.
Enjoy eating that machine lubricant, boys.
And guess what? Just like soybeans, these seed oils are crazy cheap. And they're plant-based, score! And the great thing is that the masses still think vegetable oils are healthy, when in reality, they are also absolutely horrible for you and have been linked to heart disease, liver damage, and cancer. But cheap ingredients aren't the only great thing about this business. This industry also has the full faith and backing of all the Western world's governments.
What are these, the sausages or the vegan ones?
Yeah, you know, at this point, a cricket burger is healthier than this shit. Isaac, thank you, man. Enjoy the gutter oil. Sheesh.
Not only is fake meat a food manufacturer's dream come true, it's also the government's. Think about it. Your job as the government is to keep the masses fed and happy, or else they're gonna riot. But the problem is, natural animal products like beef, eggs, and milk are unstable. When the economy drops, animal products are the first to go up in price because of how expensive they are to produce. Eggs are going up in price as we speak. But soybeans? Soybeans are America's most abundant crop. They are super cheap to produce. They're subsidized. They will pretty much never run out, and they last way longer than real meat. So, of course the government pushes plant-based meat. And to make sure the masses accept these cheaper options, the government will do whatever.
They don't want you to get to retirement, probably. This is a quick way to ensure that. Feed everybody seed oils and sugar and processed carbs. The average American here won't last long.
They can to make sure this plant slop is as sexy and fun as possible. And hey, if the colorful packaging won't convince you, maybe Bill Gates will?
If I stop eating burgers, which you point out are a big carbon culprit, will that really make a difference?
Well, if anyone's going to be scratching their head to solve the problem, I think humanity is grateful. Bill Gates is the one doing it.
Or maybe your favorite celebrity.
Sell out.
It's Beyond Meat. Now I've been hit with a truth.
Sell out.
Truth. Take a bite and blurt out the first thing that comes to your mind. Okay.
Spell out.
They can even pour money into documentaries that will really get people feeling guilty about meat. Or maybe Meatless Mondays, a national school campaign that promotes plant-based meat directly to children. So, as you can see,
that's the most egregious thing of this entire, it's an ideology. They're making little kids who need the most nutrient-dense foods eat this bullshit. Meatless Mondays. Imagine you're a poor parent that depends on the school lunch system to feed your child, which a lot of Americans are. And imagine your kid has to eat Meatless Mondays. They're going after the children. Yes. Starting them young, messing with their hormones young.
The entire fake meat industry is based on one thing: propaganda. And you want to know what else is entirely based on propaganda? Breakfast. We've been told our entire lives that breakfast is the most important.
You know, Kellogg's, if any of you are eating milk and cereal, cut that shit out immediately. You should be eating steak and eggs for breakfast. Eggs on top of your steak. Kellogg made cornflakes to stop people from jacking off. That's the point. They eliminate corn and seed oils from your diet. If you go into your pantry, in your fridge, and you read the ingredient list and it has anything derived from corn, throw it away. If there's any seed oils, throw it away. If there's words you can't pronounce, throw the shit away. If it doesn't grow from the ground, off a tree, if it doesn't come off an animal, you don't eat this. Period. And you'll be good. Follow that and you'll be good. Plants, fruits, animals. That's it.
Important meal of the day. But in reality, that whole concept was completely fabricated to sell you lucrative breakfasts. And it was all concocted by one man. A man by the name of Edward Bernays, also known as the father of propaganda. Bernays was hired to sell the masses on the importance of...
Let's look up this Kellogg shit real quick. Hold on. Corn flakes made to stop, say, sex. Let's see. There you go. When cornflakes were part of an anti-masturbation crusade by the Puritan Kellogg himself, right? In the 18th, 19th centuries, much of the world worked itself into a tizzy over the idea of people touching themselves. While masturbation was never favored in Judeo-Christian tradition, Victorian morality, along with the Great Awakening and other religious revivals in America, created a perfect storm for people to get really obsessed with it. Here's Kellogg's cure. This is the man that wanted you to stop touching your wee-wee by eating poison derived from his products. Yes, all you cornflake lovers, all you Honey Nut Cheerio types, all you whatever. Yeah, that's nice. Look at that. Unfortunately, the magazine under Kellogg's leadership espoused eugenics. Well, isn't that nice? Just letting you know. This is our diet. By the way, these guys had so much power and control over our federal institutions. It's absolutely nuts to think about that the derivatives of their thinking still exist in the world today. Look at the food pyramid.
Breakfast. And we are going to expose it all in our next video. So make sure you subscribe. In the meantime, watch our recent video on the evil history of fluoride and why this toxic chemical is in your water supply, your toothpaste.
We're going to have to watch that.